Hello and welcome to another edition of the Plus One interview. And today we are joined by a special guest, head coach of Lynn Classical football team, Coach Brian Vaughan. How are you doing?
Doing all right, man. Trying to navigate through these COVID times, man.
Yeah, it's been for coaches, these COVID times has been so many obstacles, so many things happening as far as trying to get in contact with your players, trying to get them to, their training, just being a coach has had some obstacles this year, I would say.
Yeah, man, challenging. I mean, I've been coaching since 1999. I would have to say this has probably been the most challenging ever. And not just for all coaches, not just football, but just coaches in general. It's definitely a unique situation.
Yeah, and also especially in Lynn because it was so uncertain of everything happening here. Then there was a fall two season happening. Other teams started, I think, in February. They had the games from February to March, and we started late over here. You guys only
Yeah,
April, so it was so much unknown.
yeah. I mean, you hit it perfect. There was a lot of unknowns going on, and not only just coaches, but kids didn't know if we were playing or not. Especially when you see surrounding teams playing. So, you know, like I said, it was a tough year. It was definitely a tough year.
Yeah, definitely. Now, for as a coach, you have new guys. How were you able to gauge your team as far as what the off season workout? Because usually when you guys have camp, you could kind of gauge what players can and can't do and what they could improve on and can't improve on. But how were you just able to gauge some of the strengths and the weaknesses of some of your players?
Well, before we even got an opportunity on the field, we were getting together through Zoom meetings and doing a lot of mental preparation doing a lot of mental install with our offense and defensive scheme wise. And then for us, it really came down to once we started because everything was quick. Once we started, it was all about not just who could fit in our system, but who understood our system the quickest. And that's kind of how we gauge like who we're gonna put on the field with the first unit, second unit, stuff like that. Just the guys that knew exactly what they were supposed to be doing, and then we take it a little bit slow with the guys that had to learn some get caught up.
Mm-hmm.
But for us, to be honest with you, we're a young team. We got a lot of young guys playing. I want to say from last season to this season, we have 3 returners on offense and 3 returners on defense. So we're playing all new faces across the board. So as challenges as it was this off season, there was also a benefit to that with a little bit more time to getting those younger guys caught up with schemes.
Also, when you
So
look back,
we tried to take advantage of that. Sorry.
yeah, definitely. And when you look back at it, it was like before this started, your last game was Thanksgiving of 2019.
Yeah.
That seems so long ago.
Yeah, man. Man, it seems like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Um, and then I don't know how it was in other cities, but for us, we weren't allowed to lift or do anything like that in the off season. So it was challenging. And just like from Thanksgiving till now, it's a long time and guys just waiting. Like I said, this year has probably been the most challenging year as a coach that I've seen.
Yeah, definitely. Now,
especially in Lynn, because we had some other obstacles that other people didn't have.
yeah, definitely. And there's no experience like a game experience. We all know that everybody that participates in athletics, they all know that. There's no experience like game experience. Your young guys have gotten 2 games under their belt. First game didn't go how you wanted, but they had a good bounce back in the second game. Just what were some things that they learned from the first game that they took into the second game?
The first game we had, something which you expect with a lot of inexperience. We had a lot of mental mistakes. that happens when you got a bunch of new student athletes playing for the first time in a varsity game, and you know, the goal coming out of that Rivalry game after that loss was to fix those mental mistakes, and I thought we did that somewhat the following week. We had less mental mistakes, but overall, those young guys win or lost that first game. You know, like you talked about getting game experience, that's huge. Because the way, honestly, the way we're approaching it as this season is with the 4 games. We're really trying to get ready for the fall with those 4 games, and we are using these 4 games as like college spring football, just like college spring football.
Yeah.
Because obviously, we're not playing for the playoffs and stuff like that. So we're just trying to get our young guys as many reps as possible, as many young guys on the field as possible, and get them reps and experience. And then we're gonna, obviously try to send our seniors out the right way.
Yeah, I was about to, but follow up to that because, as you say, you're using this as spring football because once, after this week, it's the last game of the season. Now you're starting your off-season training once again because it's kind of such a quick turnaround to get ready for next season.
Yeah, so again, obviously you want to give them a little bit of time off to rest up because football's a contact sport, and kids get injured, kids get hurt and get bumps and bruises and injuries. You want to give them time to heal up. But right after the season, we're going to get right back into it. Hopefully we're allowed to get back in the weight room as a team. That's something that we have to really do. And we get right into it in the summer, and right before it's going to be fall. So everything's we waited for football for so long, but now once it started, everything's happening so quick.
Yeah, definitely. And now the biggest rivalry you guys got coming up, the biggest game. Normally it's Thanksgiving, but this is in circumstances where you guys are playing this Friday. Is this the first Friday night matchup that I could think of between English and Classical? Being a part of this rivalry for so long. How excited are you just to coach against English and for the young guys to get this experience?
Well, there's a couple of ways we look at it. One, it's our rivals. It's always a big game in the city. Pretty sure Coach Carroll and his guys feel the same way. It's exciting times right now. It's obviously, like you said, it's not Thanksgiving morning. It's a Friday night, which I'm like 99.9% sure this is the first time they're playing on a night game, on a Friday night game, English Classical. But we're excited. I'm pretty sure the English high school program, that those kids are excited. Their coaching staff are excited. It's classical English. Regardless if it's Thanksgiving or not, it's a big game, and this is a meaningful game that a lot of people care about.
Yeah. The only disappointment is the students. The students can't get in there to come cheer on each other's school because that's one of the most exciting things about this rivalry.
Yeah, I mean, just not with the football game, the students are missing out on a lot of stuff. Just that social interaction that they get throughout the school. Even the seniors, prom, that whole scene, all this, the whole senior rituals. Kids are missing out a lot over the past year and a half, and I feel bad for the seniors, and I feel bad for the students and the student athletes, and not just Lynn Public High Schools, but all the high schools. It's been some challenging time for our young people, and hopefully things are back to normal sooner rather than later.
Yeah, definitely. What are some keys that you've been looking at in this matchup?
Excuse me?
What are some keys to this matchup that you've kind of had your eye on?
I mean, at the end of the day, they're a well-coached football team, and obviously a couple games didn't go their way, just like us didn't go our way. But they're Lynn kids, they're tough kids. They're gonna bounce back. They're gonna be ready to play football on Friday night again because of the rivalry. They're gonna be well coached. For us, we just have to be a little disciplined. Even though we came out with the victory last week, we cleaned up the mental mistakes, but we had a lot of I want to say we had like 11 penalties and 3 touchdowns called back. So we got to clean up that. We fixed the mental stuff. Kids knew where they were supposed to be, but then now we have to fix the penalties. We had a bunch of holding calls and a bunch of blocking in the back calls. So we got to fix that stuff. If we're able to do that, I think we'll be in an okay situation. But we can't fix that. It's going to be a long night for us.
Uh, Actually, how happy are you for your seniors? Just for them to get the opportunity to play.
Yeah, like I said, it's been a tough year for a lot of seniors, just students in high school in general. But for seniors, and they almost missed out on their last season of football, which is tough. I know in the last spring, the baseball kids that played for me didn't get an opportunity to play. I felt terrible for them. Yeah, I'm excited that these guys get to go out there and play. We don't have a lot. I want to say we have 7 seniors on our roster. So we're excited to get those guys out there, and hopefully we can send them off in the right way.
Will this be a senior night for them?
Nah, we're doing our senior night. We play our last game next week at Everett. We're doing our senior night versus Everett.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, the last game.
All right, gotcha. And Friday, please let the people know the time for the game this Friday.
6 o'clock.
6 p.m. Manning Bowl. It's do you know if anybody will be live streaming or?
I do not, but I'm pretty sure. I think anybody can go. So I'm not sure about the live stream. I really don't deal with that, but I'm pretty sure they're not turning away people at the gate, from my understanding. But I
Gotcha.
I put it this way: it's English classical. I expect a big crowd.
Yeah, we talked about that earlier. There's probably gonna be people there, even if they can't get in. They'll be in that.
Yeah.
So this is gonna be great. It's a great time, Coach. Always a pleasure to have you. Always a pleasure to talk to you, man. I really appreciate this.
Yeah, no, thank you for having me, man. And it's always a pleasure seeing you and talking to you. I remember the days I was yelling at you during practice.
I will say, before we get out of here, I will say, when I first got to English under Coach Vaughan, playing football for the first time in my life, I got better. I can say I got better at some of the stuff he taught me. I actually listened, and the things he taught me actually worked. So I did get better.
No, you did 100%, man. And that's what it's about. It's always about improving. That's what we stress to our kids.
I always appreciate it, Coach. You have a good one.
All right, man. You have a good night, man.
Take it easy.
Take it easy.